This Steve Jones Show podcast is now loading. The Steve Jones Show podcast is presented by Sunbury Motor Company, Purdy Insurance, and Brewers Outlet. Bringing you an in-depth look at Penn State sports and more. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. The Steve Jones Show is presented by Purdy Insurance, Brewers Outlet, and Sunbury Motor Company. Now from the Sunbury Motor Studio, here's Steve Jones.
And we'll welcome everyone to the show, brought to you by Purdy Insurance, Market Street in Sunbury. Go to purdyinsurance.com. Auto, home, life, business, boat, motorcycle, RV, and don't forget, Medicare, right? The open enrollment period is coming up. Steve Engel can help you. All at Purdy Insurance, Market Street in Sunbury. Go to purdyinsurance.com, where customer service means everything to them. So, people, of course, feel free to make comments to you. Right, so I'm at quarterback club today, and there's a hooded sweatshirt I have that I think is nice, comfortable. Says Penn State football on it, so I throw it on this morning. I haven't worn it since I think since the last time I did quarterback club last season, whatever. So I've worn it before. So a woman comes up to me today when we're done. You dress like a slob. I'm like, are you kidding me? You gotta be kidding me. I'm wearing Nike sneakers, blue slacks. I had a golf shirt underneath it, but it was, 50-something degrees, so I threw the sweatshirt on up to here, dressed like a slob. Where do we find these people, Todd? Where do we find them? You got to be kidding me. Yeah. I did not wake up this morning hoping to impress you. I was kind of hoping I could, wake up this morning and do a good job. You dress like a slob.
You should show up to next week if it wasn't such a pain in a tux.
Nope. I can tell you exactly. First of all, we don't have it next week.
Oh, yeah, I guess they're off, aren't they?
but guess how I'm going to show up for the next one?
I would guess in Nikes and in a sweatshirt and blue pants again.
Yep. No change. No change. Right?
Maybe go wild and mix in some khakis.
Right. Maybe I'll try and convince them that it's Armani.
There you go.
Like, what makes people think they can walk up to anybody and say anything they want? Like, cut me a break. All right. My job's to ask questions, throw a couple of one-liners in there, direct the conversation, and go from there. Right? I didn't show up in shorts and a T-shirt. Where are we finding these people?
What'd you listen to on the way home last night? Kyle Schwarber's 50th homer or the Yankees imploding?
No. No. The Red Sox were playing in Sacramento. So I listened to that game, and the kid, Connolly Early, made his first start last night. And he struck out 11 in 5 innings, pitched really well. And Russ Snyder had a big home run. So I listened to that game. I had to listen to the A's announcers, which is fine. By the way, the A's announcers are very good. They don't have a lot to work with, but I think they're very good. And, yeah.
Did they hire their announcers for Sacramento, or did they bring the guys from Oakland down?
It was the A's that made that hiring.
Yeah, I just wonder if do you have to relocate from Oakland or to Sacramento, or do you commute?
Jeez, it depends on where you live.
Yeah.
In other words, say, for example, you live south of Oakland. Say you live halfway between San Jose and Oakland.
Yeah.
Well, now that becomes an issue. But maybe you lived northeast of Oakland. Well, now it's not that bad going to Sacramento. And for all we know, maybe it's somebody they can rent an apartment or something like that during the season. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. And I don't know what they're going to do about Las Vegas, because what was interesting about when the Arizona Coyotes moved to Salt Lake City to become the Utah Mammoth, their broadcasters stayed behind. I think there may have been one that moved over, but all the old ones, they did not make the move with the team. Now, just so you know, the Arizona Coyotes still exist, you know. Okay? The Utah Mammoth are considered to be an expansion team. Believe it or not. Even though it's the old ownership and so forth, essentially what they've done is the Baltimore Ravens. Right? Because remember, when the Baltimore Ravens moved, everything started from scratch with them. And when the Cleveland Browns came back into existence in '99, they picked up all the Browns' lineage. So it sounds like Utah's the same way, the Mammoth.
I did read when that happened, though, that there's a lot less chance of that happening than there was with Cleveland.
Oh, with the Arizona Coyotes? Yeah. Absolutely. They don't want, the people in that area don't want to build an arena. They don't want to do it. Glendale, where the arena is, and the Glendale Arena is literally across the street from the football stadium, State Farm. It's right across the street, and they did not want the Coyotes. They tried to negotiate a deal. It wasn't on their terms, and that was it. That's why they had to play at Arizona State the last couple of years. And I agree with you. I think it's extremely long odds that Arizona gets its team back. Long odds. I would say Houston has a better chance of getting an expansion team before Arizona does.
Did you see they were talking about maybe trying Atlanta again? I can't imagine they'd put a third team there, but...
The Atlanta thing is interesting because for whatever reason, they do not in any way, shape, or form want to put a team in Quebec City. Brand new arena, a fan base that would sell out every game. I mean, I'm talking, I am 99.8% sure that Quebec City would sell out every game. But they don't want to put a franchise there. They don't feel it helps them as the TV market. I'm sure Montreal just wants to be the only Quebec team anyway. And the Canadian dollar right now, if I remember my numbers from this morning, I think it's 72 cents compared to the American dollar. And they just don't want to put a team there. And that, to me, would be a slam dunk in terms of fan engagement, participation, everything like that, as compared to Atlanta. And Atlanta's already had the Flames and the Thrashers. And for those who are wondering, the Thrashers, by the way, are now the Winnipeg Jets.
Which were the Arizona Coyotes.
Yes. The old Winnipeg Jets became the Arizona Coyotes. They're now the Utah Mammoth. The Calgary Flames were the Atlanta Flames. The current Winnipeg Jets were the Atlanta Thrashers. So there we go.
It's like trying to follow the lineage of the Sacramento Kings.
Rochester Royals. Then the Cincinnati Royals. Then the Kansas City Omaha Kings. And now the Sacramento Kings. It is pathetic. I know that.
And who was the Clippers were in Buffalo.
The Clippers were in Buffalo.
Yes.
Right. Then the owners of the Celtics then Irv Levin was the owner of the Buffalo Braves. John Y. Brown was the owner. No, I'm sorry. John Y. Brown was the owner of the Buffalo Braves. Irv Levin was the owner of the Celtics. They traded franchises. Irv Levin then took over the Buffalo Braves, and he moved into San Diego, where they became the San Diego Clippers, and then eventually moved to Los Angeles.
The 70s were weird.
Yeah, a lot of movement. A lot of movement. But see, I mean, in a lot of ways, these were still young franchises. They just couldn't establish the sport in that city. You know, and I mean, Cincinnati, when the Cincinnati Royals were there, they had Oscar Robertson from the University of Cincinnati. They had Jerry Lucas from Ohio State, and it still didn't pan out. So,
wasn't Maurice Stokes from one of those schools too before he got hurt?
St. Francis.
Yeah, so that's fairly close.
Yes, yep. Maurice Stokes. Yep, St. Francis. Yeah, it's amazing. When you look at the history of franchises, I mean, the best one is one of the great trivia questions ever. Where did the New York Yankees originate?
They were the Boston Highlanders, weren't they?
They were the Baltimore Orioles.
Baltimore Orioles, that's right. I knew it was something strange.
And then they moved to New York and they became the Highlanders. And then they changed the name to the Yankees. So, yeah. Yeah, that's always one. Let's see. Lakers were the Minneapolis Lakers. The Oklahoma City Thunder were the Seattle Supersonics.
I like the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, the
How'd
New
they end up
Orleans
the Jazz?
When they were in New Orleans,
Yeah,
Jazz made sense. Right? Because the ABA team that played in Utah were the Utah Stars.
Original home of Moses Malone.
Moses Malone. Exactly. Zelmo Beatty.
If you've never read the book Loose Balls by Terry Pinto, I highly recommend it.
It is remarkable. Remarkable. So, that to me that's a great, great book.
He tried to do one with the old NBA that I think, too, that's not quite as good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's amazing the places that have had the NBA. For example, Baltimore had the old Baltimore Bullets, who are now the Washington Wizards. Cincinnati, as we mentioned, had the Royals. Fort Wayne had the Pistons. Let's see. The Sixers, the second iteration of Philadelphia basketball. The first one, the Philadelphia Warriors, went west, became the San Francisco Warriors, then the Golden State Warriors. The Syracuse Nationals moved to Philadelphia, and now they're the Sixers. Okay? I mean, the New Orleans Pelicans were the Charlotte Hornets. And now the Charlotte Hornets started out as the Bobcats.
When they switched back to the Hornets, did they get their history?
I think so, yeah. I believe so. I believe they got the history to go with it. Let's see. I think the Dallas Chaparrals in the ABA moved to San Antonio, became the Spurs. I mean, there's just all sorts of crazy.
It's amazing with all the money that these leagues make now that they were still hand to mouth 50 years ago.
Well, I mean, like the Rams. Where'd the Rams originate?
Cleveland.
Yeah. Right? And the first championship game in the merger between the AAFC and the NFL in 1950 featured the Cleveland Browns against the now transplanted Los Angeles Rams, who had been the Cleveland Rams before that. I mean, the Chargers started out playing 1 year in Los Angeles. Then they went to San Diego. Now, of course, they're back in Los Angeles. The Cardinals were the Chicago Cardinals. Then the St. Louis Cardinals. Now they're the Arizona Cardinals.
Wild's still owned by the same family.
Yes, the Bidwells still own them.
I would say the Bidwells, the Rooneys, and the Hallises, right? I guess the Maras were around back then, too.
Yeah, the Maras have had the Giants since 1925.
Yeah.
Since 1925, they've had the Giants.
Explain to them in 1925 how much the team would be worth in 100 years.
Oh, I think they would just sit there and...
I think heads would explode.
They'd be like, no, that can't be right. I mean, let's face it. I mean, if you were to explain to people in the NFL or college football how much money the TV packages will be worth in 2025, I think their heads would spin. And that's just 10 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, go back 10 years ago and telling them they'd be paying players.
Well, I can't picture Joe going for that.
No.
Can't picture Joe going for that one.
I think the NIL one might have. I think an actual true NIL. Do you think would have bothered him?
No, I don't think so. I think if a guy had the chance to do like pure NIL, no payments from collectives. In other words, hi, I'm Todd Hummel for Sunbury Motors. I don't think would have bothered Joe at all.
I mean, we've said this 1,000 times. How is it explained and what it's become are two totally different things.
I mean, they took the Alston ruling, which is supposed to be about iPads and school supplies. Okay? That's what it's supposed to be about. And because of how Brett Kavanaugh wrote the opinion on it, it was made out to be an open door for collectives. Okay. I mean, again, that's what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be, that's what the Alston ruling is. The Alston ruling is not about collectives and NIL. The Alston case is about the school being allowed to pay for supplies for you to use academically. Okay.
Well, you need money to buy those supplies, right?
Well, the way Brett Kavanaugh wrote the opinion, which, by the way, was 9-0, there was not a dissenting opinion, was like, hey, you better straighten out your act because every time you come back, there was something else. He says, you're going to be in trouble. That's essentially what he said. Like, you guys have been getting away with with all this for years. And so they tried to change. They come up with every rule possible to make it look like they're changing, when you and I both know it's dancing around issues at times. Crazy.
Have we talked about the one transfer portal yet?
Yeah, I did talk about it briefly the other day. I don't get this.
Because it's still during the playoff.
Right. Well, see, this is... I understand from their perspective, right, that we're going to do it right when you're transitioning from one semester to the other. So I'm trying to be fair here. In other words, what the thought process probably is. Okay? But that doesn't help the playoff teams at all. And anyway, now I realize the date that they've picked, I know there are a couple bowl games still left there. But there's at this point, there are 4 teams. Now, they get an extension on the portal, by the way. Okay? And so but make the portal May 1 to May 15. They have to go through spring practice. Now when they've got time to make decisions and make visits, they have the time to do it. You should have your grades down because you're still eligible. If you want to go back to April 26th or whatever and go to May 15, fine. I don't care. Right? And the early signing period should be the first week of August. And the late signing period should stay the first Wednesday in February. Somebody would have to explain to me what's wrong with that calendar.
I'm sure there's something dumb.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think coaches have to balance the, you either want them there for the spring and you have to deal with this early portal, or, your idea where it's much more manageable for everybody. Because if you want your portal guys there in the spring, it has, it's going to have to be that January date.
Yeah, but for all we know, okay, let me give you an example. 2 examples. Remember Lamont Wade?
Yes.
Put his name in the portal, came back, spring practice, ended up being a starter. Okay. Remember all the rumors about Elliott Washington a couple of years ago? They convinced him to stay. Now look where he is. Then King Mack transferred to Alabama, came back. And his point to the players on the current team, be careful, the grass isn't always greener. He's told them that. The grass is not always greener. And that's why when they bring in portal guys, one thing that happens is that they'll come in and they'll tell them, if you're a player that's only been at Penn State, you think every program is run this way. Why wouldn't you? Yet the transfers come in, and they'll talk to them, and they'll explain to them, not every program is run like this. And King Mack was able to come back and tell him, he says, the grass isn't always greener, not every program's like this. And that's how you end up with a developmental program with more guys more often than not staying. So,
the first thing I'd point to is the numbers they put up at the combine after being in that weight program for 4 or 5 years.
It's unbelievable, the numbers they put up. It is stunning. And it's consistent. It would be it would be one thing if you had a couple of, quote, freak athletes and this is what they could do. But Penn State now has such a long track record at the combine of impressive combine performances. That tells you a lot.
This popped into my head while you were talking. Did you see Abdul Carter run or come free on one of his plays on Sunday?
Yeah.
And then defend the quarterback like a three-point shooter?
Yep.
And I thought to myself, I wonder why more people don't do it. After I chuckled because it was kind of funny, but...
Right. Well, then he also blocked a punt in the game.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah. Half hour brought to you by Purdy Insurance. Market Street in Sunbury. Go to purdyinsurance.com.
September means the return of football, everything pumpkin spice, and the September Serrano sale at Sunbury Motors Kia.
Wanna see ya in a Kia. Sunbury Motors Kia.
That's right, the September Serrano sale is on, and SMC has 10 2025 Kia Sereno turbo models with $1,000 in Kia Finance bonus cash and as low as 0% APR financing for 48 months. The 2025 Kia Sereno hybrids have as low as 0.9% APR for 48 months with an additional $500 in Kia Finance bonus cash. And Sunbury Motors Kia has 2025 Kia Sereno S all-wheel drive models starting at just over $35,000. Remember, Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. It's a September to remember. The September Sereno sale at Sunbury Motors Kia on the Strip in Hummel's Wharf and at sunburymotorskia.com.
Hi, this is Season. For over 100 years, the Purdy Insurance Agency has been protecting families and businesses of the greater Susquehanna Valley and beyond. With the experience of our trained and knowledgeable staff, you can rest assured that your needs will be evaluated and met by some of the industry's best representatives. No matter what your insurance needs are, call Purdy Insurance today at 570-286-5855. Visit our website at purdyinsurance.com or check us out on Facebook to see what we can do for you.
A lot has changed since 1915 when the Mertz family began selling cars here in Central PA at Sunbury Motor Company. But one thing that hasn't changed is the Sunbury Motor Company's commitment to satisfying more customers, selling more cars, and providing you with a tradition of trust. Whether you visit Sunbury Motors Ford, Sunbury Motors Hyundai, or Sunbury Motors Kia, you know you're getting the area's best selection and best prices on both new and pre-owned vehicles. SMC's values of hard work and dedication are as prevalent today as they were over 100 years ago. They take pride in satisfying Central Pennsylvania's automotive needs and providing their customers with the best buying experience possible. Come visit Sunbury Motors Ford and Sunbury Motors Hyundai in the North 4th Street Auto Plaza, Sunbury, or Sunbury Motors Kia on the Strip in Hummel's Wharf. Sunbury Motor Company, owned and operated by the Mertz family since 1915.
Bringing you an in-depth look at Penn State sports and more. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. The Steve Jones Show is presented by Sunbury Motor Company, Purdy Insurance, and Brewers Outlet. Now from the Sunbury Motors Studio, here's Steve Jones.
Yeah, we're made to turn into getting closer to another weekend. That means Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury, the beverage supermarket. In fact, it's Roger Corey's birthday today, so I say we stock up. What do you think?
What's Roger like?
Yeah, Roger Corey's birthday. I say we stock up now at Brewers Outlet. Imports, domestics, microbrews, the best selection of beer anywhere, wine coolers, water, soft drink, snacks. They roast their peanuts fresh and out every day. 6 great flavors of slushies. They roast their peanuts fresh and out every day. And not only that, ready-to-drink cocktails. High Noon, Jack Daniel's, Crown Royal. Pickle Bar led by the Barrels and the Dills. Indeed, second to none. All at Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury, the beverage supermarket. There you go. Yeah. So, Saturday, 3:30, Villanova. Look, you're looking for a sharp, crisp performance. That's what everybody's looking for. I know Jack Ham and I talked about it this morning, and yes, we will get Jack on the week of the Oregon game. Okay? I wasn't going to get him on the first 3 games. Jack will be on the week of the Oregon game, okay? You know, it always makes management a lot calmer. I know they want to program the show. I'm the one that knows all the people. I know when they're available and when they're not. You know, we were talking this morning, and I said, look, Jack, the bottom line's the third down thing. I said, there's no problem with 3rd and 5 or better. I said, their percentage is just fine. 38% on 3rd and 5 or better is really very, very good. I'll let you know what, as a comparison. The last few years, Penn State defensively, this is defensively, Todd, teams have been between 20 and 25% on 3rd and 5 or better, which is exactly what you want to see from a defense. 20 to 25%. Penn State offensively has been 38% in this particular year, and they've been above that 33% mark most of the time. That's what good teams do. The issue has been when you feel like, well, it's 3rd down and less than 4, especially if it's like 3rd and 2 or whatever, you kind of feel like you're almost at point-blank range. with the talent you have and so forth. And they're only at 33% on third down and less than 4. They should be between about 55 and 65%. And then you add in the fourth down numbers, right? Because I think every fourth down Penn State's gone for it. I think all of them have been less than 4 yards. Trying to think late in the Nevada game if they went for it and it was longer. Maybe. But, you've got to be able to convert those. And you've got the quarterback, the running backs, the wideouts, the tight ends, and the offensive line that you can be better than that. Okay? You can be better than that. And to me, see, when you're not converting on that, and then it's, now I can see if it's like 3rd and 6 or 7, you make a play and you get it down, it's 4th and 1, you go for it. Okay. All right? But this team is good enough to convert those on a more consistent 55 to 65% basis. How about that? All right. Now, I've only got 2 games as a sample size, so that part I also understand. But you want to see that become more of a reality. So
it is a little strange with their talent and the opponents so far that it is that low.
Right. No, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, Penn State has consistently been, let's look at the last 5 years. They have consistently been 55 to 65% on third down and less than 4. They've been consistently over 30 and usually above 35% in 3rd and 5 or better. And then defensively, their numbers have been off the chart. I mean, 20 to 25% in 3rd and 5 or better. And the vast majority of third downs against them in 5 or better. So, yeah. That to me is where they need to be. If I had to pick something, right, that's what's hurting your consistency. You've got to drive going, and then boom. Because Penn State's averaging 8 yards per play on first down. They're averaging, through 2 games, 8 yards per play on first down. Right now, 60% of Penn State's offense is on first down. Now, what number's good? If you're about 48 to 52% on first down, pretty darn good. 60% is phenomenal. That then means you have to do a better job on second and third down. Okay? So just to give everybody perspective. Now, I mean, like, for example, I believe the touchdown pass to Ross was a first down play. I believe the run by Katron Allen was a first down play. And you're going to get some big plays like that. But even if you take those plays out, the average is still really high. I mean, they are averaging 8 yards per play on first down and 60% of their offense on first down. So, I mean, I'm just trying to give everybody some statistical relevance here. Right? I'm trying to frame it for everybody so they know what should be good and where the current numbers are through 2 games. So they have been able to get out of the gate on first downs, and they've done a good job. Got to be better when they've been fine on third and longer plays. They got to be better on third and short, which then, of course, means, fourth and short, too. So,
well, it's just, I mean, I just wonder what it can't. It's just, I'm imagining it's just an anomaly, these 2 games. It's just, like I said, it's
I think so. Yeah, I think so too. But you want to, and I agree with what you're saying, Todd, and I see where you're going with it. So I agree with you. but you also want to be able to do it in a game and develop the consistency with it. Take Gabe Wosu as a punter. Gabe Wosu, and I'm going to use James's terminology because I think it's exactly right. Gabe has always had A kicks in his arsenal. The problem was in practice, they would be mixed in with D kicks. You're like I said, he'll give you, like in practice, I'm talking about the previous years. Wow, whoa. Well, now he's delivering more wows. And that's what he's delivering. And that's why he's the punter now. He's delivering exponentially more A kicks. And the misses have been B's and C's and not D's.
I get you can't do anything about these first three games, and I just, that's my biggest issue right now is are they getting tested enough to be ready for that Oregon game in 2 weeks? Because that's a different level of football, obviously.
Yeah. So let's get back to what Merrill Reese was talking about in yesterday's show. We saw some crazy things in the opening week of the season. The Buffalo comeback over Baltimore, the Jets-Steelers game, the Eagles-Cowboys game to a point. There are a bunch of games like that in the opening weekend. And I can't tell you if anybody's any good. I don't know. Because for the vast majority, Minnesota-Chicago, a crazy game. The vast majority of those games were played by players who were playing for the first time since the first week of January or late December. You can't tell. So now let's flip. It's like, okay, what does that have to do with Penn State? Well, in Penn State, there are no preseason games. There are none. So you've got these three games here where you get out of the gate and you find out, with Jim Knowles, what's working, what needs to be maybe tweaked or corrected, what can we keep in there, what's something where I look at it and go, I don't know, we're going to have to keep practicing that, where the bye week's going to be important because Jim will now have a full report card of 3 games as to what everybody can and can't do. Andy's going to be the same way. He's going to go into that bye week and do a lot of self-scout. And Andy has tried different things. I mean, I've never, in the first 2 games, I don't care what the score was on Saturday, 34-0. I never for 1 second in that game thought Penn State was threatened. Never. There wasn't anything running through my mind as I was doing the game like, hey, they might lose this game. Like Bowling Green last year. That ran through my mind like, geez, they may not win this game. That never ran through my mind on Saturday. And I think Andy's tried to do some things because he's trying to get a feel, I think, for what they can and can't do. And then you'll do some self-scout during the bye week. That's why you're if anybody's like, oh, in the kickoffs in the fourth quarter they went out of bounds. It's slowed down. They're trying to do something, and they wanted to see if, like, in other words, should we keep it in or not? Okay? Now I can hear everybody, well, take it out. Well, that's part of okay? You're not under the threat of anything. You're not going to lose the game. So you can try a couple of things, and you find out whether somebody can execute it or whether they can't. Okay? So... Now, I don't know how good Oklahoma State is. Do you?
No idea.
I do know there's 66 points worse than Oregon.
Yeah.
That part I know.
He did annoy Dan Lanning last week.
He did. And they've got, Northwestern this week, I believe.
Did you see they're playing that in the stadium, along the river or whatever?
Yeah, along the lake.
Yeah, I saw somebody online asking Oregon to bring the inflatable duck with them and put it on the lake.
Could you see that?
I could.
Right by the Grosse Pointe Lighthouse?
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Hey, the duck went down the river.
Yeah.
In Indianapolis. That was pretty cool. So one time, was it Tim Harris was the analyst with Keith Jackson for a couple of years?
I believe so.
And so they had to do the Affleck trivia question. So Jackson asks the Affleck trivia question. And Harris starts to jump in with an answer. He goes, Timmy, no, wait for the duck. The duck comes across the screen. Timmy, no, wait for the duck. Oh, boy. So, hey, Schwarber hit his 50th, last night? Another bomb.
I had not realized that he hadn't homered since the 4-homer game.
Yeah. Yep. Had not. Now he's hit another one. I mean, he'll probably end up with, my guess is, what's today, the 10th? What do we have, 20 days left in the season? Less than that, right?
I think so.
17 days left in the season?
Yeah.
My guess is he'll end up with 53 or 54.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Cal it took Cal, I think Cal had hit his 53rd that day too, and he just hit 54 yesterday.
Yeah, Raleigh, yeah. Yeah. Look, home runs are hard because if it was, Dow Maxfield would have hit more. Right? I mean, it just is. How many does our guy Judge have right now?
I know you were on the road yesterday.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Well, no, not that, because his homer yesterday passed Yogi Berra, and that's all they talked about for an hour until.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Well, they did. The Yankees did give up 9 runs in the 7th inning, so that did replace the conversation.
Good. Well, I meant this the other day with Matt. You know what the difference between the Red Sox and the Yankees is? The Red Sox are fun. They're a young team. Got a couple of veterans like Story and Bregman on it. Chapman. Right? But they're fun. They run the bases. They seem to enjoy playing the game. Right? You know, they got a lot of young players that are playing well, like Rafaela. And, of course, Anthony's not in the lineup now. They got the 2 young pitchers, and another one's going today. I mean, they're actually fun. Are they the best team? No. But they're fun, and they seem to enjoy playing the game. The Yankees don't even remotely look like they enjoy playing the game. The Phillies look like they're having a blast out there. The Yankees don't even remotely look like they're enjoying the game.
I mean, that's the difference. I don't blame Devers at all at the beginning of the season, but all the stuff surrounding Devers and all that, it wasn't fun in April and May for them. No.
But it started in spring training with Rafael Devers.
Yeah, I mean...
they brought in Bregman, and Bregman is exponentially a better third baseman than Devers. Devers led third baseman in errors. Right? Okay. It's not like Devers didn't help them win a World Series in 2018. He did. Right? He's had some big moments, big games, big playoff games, the whole deal. But at the same time, you can't be a detriment to what's going on. And he was. And they've actually been a better team since they made the trade. As difficult as that may have seemed when they made the trade with the Giants.
Because they really haven't gotten anything out of the pieces they got yet from the Giants, have they?
No, but see what it did was, now I know he's hurt right now and he's not playing, but it eventually opened the door for Roman Anthony to come up. And Anthony has a chance to be a a really terrific player. And the reason that he has a chance, because he kind of just goes out there and like if he needs to take a walk, he takes a walk. Yeah, I mean that's kind of, in other words, he's not up there like I'm going to get my hits. Nah, it's like he kind of plays the game right. Now we'll find out over long term whether everything we're seeing now pays off. But yeah, I mean, so far he's looked when he's played. He's not playing now, but terrific. Yeah, and again, they're fun. The Yankees are not fun. They just not. I mean, you feel like you are watching a torture chamber.
I think everybody plays off of each other because the fans like it like they're entering. The fans watch it like they're entering a torture chamber.
Yep, and then the team plays that way, and they're managed that way. Oh God! Every move has consequences. Just lighten up, have some fun. Right? It's a game. It's a game. By the way, the Judge needs what now? 2 home runs to tie Joe DiMaggio? Oh, the blowout. Oh, incredible. Wow.
Greatest Yankee of all time. That was sarcasm.
Yeah. I know it was. Wow. Imagine when he finally gets to 400. That's a big number.
I will not watch ESPN for about a week when that happens.
It won't happen until the middle of next year anyway. And at that point, ESPN, we'll see if they're still doing baseball or not, and they may just ignore it.
Good point.